Today our guest is George Craig. George was born in Illinois, but he's been in Oklahoma for 40 years, so he's an Okie. He's been at Epworth for a year and a half, and you know him best probably, you see him mostly at the bridge table. He is an avid bridge player. He has some achievements there, which I don't understand. George has been a lot of places and done a lot of things, the kind of things we like to hear about. So, George, tell us, where did you grow up?
I grew up in Wheaton, Illinois, about 35 miles west of Chicago. I enjoyed it and went swimming all the time.
Did you have siblings?
I do. I have two. One has died and one lives in Kansas City.
So, where all did you go to school?
Well, I graduated from high school there. Wheaton Community College, it was called. And then I went to Princeton for my freshman year. And then I stayed out of school for a year and a half or two. Worked on the pipeline. I was a welder's helper. And a bricklayer and a plasterer, and I drove trucks for the old Railway Express. I don't know if you remember the Railway Express.
Absolutely. Oops.
And I drove for Culligan, soft water. I saw a driver a couple of days ago here. I talked to him. Told him I'd been 60 years ago. I was doing the same thing.
So you decided you need a cushier job?
Well, I decided I wasn't ready for college, and so I stayed out. Probably should have gone in the Army, but anyway. Then I went to Wheaton College and graduated, and then I got a National Foundation, Science Foundation fellowship and a National Defense Education Act fellowship. Went to the University of Illinois. Got a PhD in quantitative economics.
So what did you do after graduate school?
Well, after graduate school, I interviewed at OSU, actually, one of my first interviews, but I ended up going to Louisiana State University, taught econometrics and economics.
But you always knew you wanted to teach?
No, I just fell into it. In graduate school, they gave me a statistics book and said, teach it. So I taught for 2 years at the University of Illinois.
Discovered you could, huh? Do you have children?
Yes, I have a daughter. She works for the San Diego County and lives out there. And I have 3 stepsons, Price, Nolan, and Sean Coyle, and 3 step-grandsons, Andrew, James, and Daniel. And they're my stepsons they own Coyle Realty, and they have farmlands in Stratford, Texas.
You're close to them.
Yeah.
So what are some of your accomplishments in your teaching career?
Well, I always enjoyed teaching. It was really good, and I ended up being a full professor at OCU, and I published quite a bit. The American Economic Review, Journal of American Statistical Associations, National Association of Business Economists. Forecasting was my area. Luckily, I don't have to do that anymore.
What about hobbies, past and present?
Hobbies. Well, I played racquetball and handball for 60 years. I miss it. I only quit right before I moved in here. And I enjoy bridge also.
And you play canasta?
Canasta, yes. Yes. I enjoy we have a foursome in bridge that I enjoy playing with them.
Is that over at the Senior Center in Edmond? Do you?
No, that's another one. But
okay.
Yeah. I usually play at the Bridge Studio, which Duplicate Bridge in North Park.
Right. Well, how about your volunteering? I know you volunteer.
I do a lot. I should back up one thing that when I was in between colleges, I drove out to Yankee Stadium to a Billy Graham crusade, and I became a Christian out there, and my parents became Christians within a year after that too, so that was a highlight of my life.
Yes, it was remarkable.
Yeah. Volunteering, yes. Well, I volunteered Skyline Urban Ministry 35 years, and 1 day a week, because a lot of times I was teaching overseas. I taught in Singapore and Malaysia and Liverpool and Hong Kong for OCU. But when I was here, I would always volunteer. And my oldest son, Price, my best friend, he was a cook there. And when they quit Prime Timers, we moved over to Jesus House. And we go down there and serve breakfast Monday through Friday. And I went by there today, but they're still closed down, so we hope to get back.
Oh. How many meals do they serve a day? Do they just serve one meal a day?
Well, there are men and women there, so the women eat, then the men eat, and then we were there when the homeless come in. Because I'm working on the group of homeless. We're working with the Methodist Indian Conference. Because I've been told that there are 1,000 homeless American Indians here.
Well, what do you do today besides bridge?
Today? Well, I hope to start a garden tomorrow.
Okay.
And bridge is a big part of it, but, my volunteer is usually a big part of it.
Right.
Unfortunately, we're not there.
What do you enjoy most about Epworth?
Oh, the people, they're wonderful. I love Oklahoma. I'm glad I'm here, and I love Epworth. Is a really wonderful place. So friendly.
Right. Thank you, George, for sharing with us today. You have had a very interesting and impactful life, and it's been a real pleasure getting to know more about it. Thanks a lot.